do you have any thoughts on some of the larger than memory pandas-like alternatives? Which ones are easiest to write clean and effective code with? Which ones scale most easily? So it's interesting. You kind of actually already answered one of those questions because it sounds like some of these, including with the Spark 3.2 update that you mentioned, will use the Pandas API. So that sounds like they could potentially be some of the easiest to write clean and effective code with. But I'll leave it for you to answer. So which ones are the easiest to write clean and effective code with, and which ones scale most easily?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I'll caveat this with in sample size one, in my consulting and training engagements, um, I've had limited experience with Dask and Spark, but certainly not anywhere the same as my small data experience. So I don't consider myself a big data expert, but let me just maybe give a little bit more insight into that. So I have a list of like alternate platforms of pandas here on my desk, and I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, at least like 13 different alternate platforms where it's pandas, the API, versus pandas, the library that sort of started this out. So as far as scaling out, I think your most robust solutions, you're going to be looking at Spark, you're going to be looking at Dask, and I would say Modin as well. So Modin is, and let me maybe talk about those from some pros and cons of them. Spark, if you're not familiar with it, it's written on the JVM Scala, but because of people doing a lot of data science in Python, they do have a Python interface for that. I think the Pandas API is kind of like their third iteration of using a data frame like API. So I have not actually used that in Happiness or in Anger, but that was merged there. My understanding is it's not 100% compatible, but a good chunk compatible. But my understanding is that you have pretty good scale out there as well. Dask has a Pandas API that is pretty good as well. And then you have Modin. My understanding, actually from speaking to some of the Modin folks, is that their goal is 100% API implementation, to the extent that they will even replicate bugs in Pandas.
Wow.
With the intent there that like a lot of some of these Pandas users that are industrial strength or big enterprises that are using Pandas do want to scale out, and they're looking to be the tool for them to say, just drop your code in here, right? Rather than we've got 90% of the API, but we're so committed to the API that we are even writing the same bugs so that it won't magically work on Modin rather than on Pandas. There are some other ones as well. A new one I just heard of the other week was Terality, which I guess is a service, and they're doing like serverless Pandas scaling, right? I don't know the extent of the API conformity there, but I mean they all of these are offering Pandas APIs. So it is certainly a space to watch. And I think competition is good in general because it makes everyone play harder and play better. So, but from my point of view, that just makes investing in Pandas a good investment right now because, as you said, Python is the most popular data science language, and people can be upset at me for saying that, but I think the numbers play that out.
Mhm.
And Pandas is probably one of the most popular, if not for structured or tabular data, the most popular tool for doing that. So I think it really, if you are in that place where you have database tables or spreadsheets and you need to start using Python, Pandas is the place to go right now. And an investment in Pandas is a wise investment.
Yep, and I think it's a time investment as opposed to trading advice. It'd be fun if you could trade in open source libraries.
Yeah, you might have to
Uh,
say this is not investment advice, right? The disclaimer.
exactly.